Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in once again to another episode of Pickup Lines. It is not the News at 5 or the Night Beat, not yet at least. But this is the one and only Myra Arthur. This is the talk show in a car, by the way. And Myra is here, and I am very grateful that you're here.
I am honored to be here.
Typically,
what an invitation.
Well, thank you. No, typically on the set, I'm to your right.
I know, so we've...
Yeah. So we're momentarily, but on the news desk, we'll go back to typical stuff here in a little while. It's great to have you here. So,
thank you.
And I see you're wearing the Reagan Rattler green today.
Oh,
was that on purpose?
I did not even do that on purpose. Swear I didn't.
Okay.
But I knew this was going to come up. So yes, I'm a Reagan alum.
Okay. Well, we'll get to that in a little bit because, as is the case with a lot of people that I've had on the show. You've been in San Antonio a long time, but
yes.
You were not born in San Antonio.
No, I was not. I'm actually originally from Eastern Kentucky.
Okay.
And a ton of family still there. But eventually, when I was in high school, we moved to San Antonio. Dad's job brought us here. Whole family moved. So I was a sophomore in high school, I think, and came here, and it's been home ever since.
And the rest is history.
Yeah.
What was your dad doing, or what was it? Sometimes it's military or whatever.
No, and I get asked that all the time.
Yeah.
Is it military? No, he was in oil and gas, worked for Valero. Yeah.
Well, that makes sense that
Valero
he would end up
brought
here.
us here. Yeah.
But tough to uproot in high school. You're a teenager.
It was, but I actually did not move from Kentucky here. So I went Kentucky until we were there till I was in middle school. Then I moved during middle school.
Okay.
To Savannah, Georgia.
Oh, you took the long way to San Antonio.
That was a rocky transition in the middle of middle school.
Okay.
And then by the time...
For Dad's work.
For me. Well, yes.
But you went to Georgia because of your dad.
Yes. We went to Georgia because of Dad's job.
Okay.
And then when he said, hey, we're going to San Antonio, I was like, let's do it. Let's go to Texas.
So you weren't in Savannah very long.
No, 3 years, maybe a little less.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you got to San Antonio, were you kind of selfishly hoping like, okay, can we just like lay some roots down and like, is this it?
Yeah.
You could unpack everything.
Absolutely. It was a totally different vibe. I was, going into a huge school. Reagan was brand new.
Relatively new. Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah, new campus.
Brand new at the time. I was in a class of 800 and some kids. And was
because in Eastern Kentucky, is it small town?
Oh my gosh, yeah, super small, super
everybody
small.
knows everybody.
Yes, yeah. I don't think there's 800 kids in the whole school. So yes, it was a totally different situation, but I liked it. I really liked it, and it was an easy move for us.
But Reagan must have felt like your entire city, like your hometown or whatever. Like
oh my
it's
gosh,
humongous.
Yeah,
it's like university. It's like my kids go to a high school here in town, and it's like I call it the university of where they go because it's a massive campus.
Yeah, the campus was huge, and then you're trying to find your group.
Yep.
And for me, I played high school tennis.
You were an athlete,
so that was my group. That's the group that I found a home with.
And you just kind of worked your way into the Reagan tennis team, and
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how good were you?
I think I was pretty decent.
Varsity level.
Yes, varsity level. I haven't picked up a racket in a long time. That's on the to-do list.
Okay.
But I'd love to get back into it one day when there's more than 24 hours in a day.
Yeah, as soon as they come up with a 30-hour day, that I would benefit.
I'm on it.
I'm going to do this same thing. Okay, so and if I can go backwards a little bit, growing up though, like what are your memories of siblings, like kind of the dynamic of your house and
Sure.
all that?
I grew up around all of my family.
Yeah.
All of my family was in Kentucky. Both sets of grandparents were there. Cousins were there. Aunts, uncles were there. I have one younger brother.
Yes.
And, it was the go to church on Sunday, go to Mama's house for fried chicken after church.
But it was delicious too.
Upbringing. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
And I loved it. And, my grandparents lived on a farm, and that's the only place I ever wanted to be.
Yeah. Because this is, obviously, I'm biased. I love San Antonio, but it's not Eastern Kentucky. There's definitely some differences and everything. But you still have family back over there.
Yes. Yeah. And we try to go back once a year or so, and, see folks. But Yeah, I mean that was my plan. Growing up, my plan was to one day have a house, hopefully next to my grandparents,
Yeah,
on a farm,
sure.
live that life. And yeah, if I went at that age, if you would have told me you will be a news anchor one day, I would have said, but no.
I'm trying to
That's
visualize
not
Myra
what I want
Arthur,
to
the
do.
farmer. I mean, you got up at the crack of dawn to do morning news, but
I did.
um,
Yes.
and I had read, was it Connie Chung was one of your early inspirations as it relates to news
I did.
personalities?
I used to pretend to be her, like in front of my parents. I would
Absolutely.
pretend to be her on home video and do these reports. And I was like the kid in the neighborhood who organized plays for everyone to do.
Yes.
And I wasn't the person who had the starring role. I was just in charge of the play. I was casting.
Organized
I
it.
was choreographing. I was
Jane of all
coming up-
trades. You
coming
wore
up with the
several hats.
costumes. And yeah, that was me as a kid.
I can
for sure.
relate to some of that. I mean, and some of our colleagues that we've had in the car, I mean, there is a theater background or a public
Yeah.
speaking at a very young age. You were doing the morning announcements at school or whatever that looked like for you.
Yeah, and theater was something I did. I was really involved in it in middle school. When I got to San Antonio, less so.
Okay.
Because it really wasn't until I moved here that I figured out when it comes to sports, people were very dedicated. I mean, it's like you pick a sport and you're going to do that all year long.
Well, with the advent of AAU and club sports
Yes.
and all that stuff, especially if you wanted to compete at the next level, whatever that is. I mean, you're
Yeah.
going all the time.
So it kind of felt like I had to pick, and so I picked tennis, which I loved and thought it was a great decision. But yeah, I did less theater stuff once I moved here.
And you went to SMU, right?
I did.
Southern Methodist
Yes.
University. But could you have played tennis at the collegiate level?
I think I could have. I think so.
I don't know a lot about SMU other than the George Bush School is there and everything like that. But is it a great journalism school, or you went for that?
They have an incredible journalism school, and I will admit that I did not go to SMU saying this is what I am going to
Right.
do. I wanted to write. Whatever it was I was doing professionally, I wanted it to involve writing. And
Yeah.
so when I got there, I started thinking, okay, how can I incorporate that?
Yeah.
And I have to be honest, I kind of fell into journalism.
Yeah.
And then at that time, I was super fortunate because SMU had the Daily Update, a morning news show, 5 days a week, all student run. And we got to do whatever it is, whatever role we wanted. You could direct, you could run graphics,
Fabulous.
you could anchor, you could edit.
Could do it all.
Anything. You could do it all.
Do it
And
all.
you had to. I mean, we
Yeah.
were required to sign up, and you couldn't just be an anchor every day.
I only want to be on camera.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
That wasn't going to fly.
No, that's not going to happen. All right.
No.
Let me stop her right there for just a minute.
Okay.
As we like to say in the business, let's take a quick break and we'll step aside. We'll be right back here. No weather and traffic coming up. It's just more Myra Arthur here on Pickup Lines. Don't go away. Back with my sister in news, Myra Arthur here, on loan for a few seconds here from KSAT 12. Well, fortunately, we're here at the building, so we'll go back to work in just a little
This
bit.
is working hours. This counts.
But I did not know until recently, another commonality we have is a stint in morning news.
Yes.
Early in your career, you did mornings was it in Corpus Christi?
In Corpus Christi, that was my very first TV news job. I anchored a morning show for KZTV
Yeah.
in Corpus. It was only an hour long, which is short as for a morning show.
Right.
But I solo anchored it and had a weather guy who I became dear friends with. And I mean, your small market is where you cut your teeth, right? That's where you learn what.
I cut several teeth
Yeah.
in Victoria. I mean, you cut teeth in Corpus.
Yes, that's where you learn what this is all about. And so
And it does weed. It weeds some people out. I mean,
It
to be
does.
kind of on a serious note,
Yeah.
you lose some people out of college. A lot of times, you're going to start in a small market, and you realize, oh my gosh, this is what I'm getting paid. Or you're
Oh my
having
gosh,
to share an
yes.
apartment with a coworker or something
Yes.
and just scratch to make ends meet. I was fortunate to live at home with my parents in Victoria, so
Oh, nice.
worked out. But yeah, I mean, morning news, it's tough.
It's tough. And then I wanted to, get a good tape.
Yeah.
Not a tape now. to link
A reel?
now. A reel.
As the kids call it?
Yeah, put that together. And so I wanted to report on anything and everything I could to get as much content and head to the next place. So I worked insane hours in Corpus Christi, but I was in my early 20s. I was single, no kids. I had energy. So it was the perfect time to do it. And I got to do all kinds of different things. And I mean, I think about it and it is exhausting, but I'm really grateful.
No, I can see you can get exhausted just thinking about it. Okay, so you're bouncing around. I know you went up to, was it the Central Texas?
Yes. The
Corpus and everything.
Waco Temple Killeen market.
Dynamo powerhouse market. But in the back of your mind, having gone to Reagan, been in was San Antonio kind of like on the wish list? Like 100%. One day.
San Antonio, in my mind, was my next stop after Corpus.
Yeah.
I was going to do my 2 years in Corpus, finish out that contract. I was going to get a job in San Antonio. And it didn't happen.
Right.
Waco came calling. I was talking to some news directors in San Antonio.
Right.
But there just was not a job at the time that I needed there to be a job.
That's the thing. The timing is so crazy in this business.
Yes. And I will say that right after I took the job in Waco, I had probably been there 4 months.
Right.
And a news director in San Antonio called me and said, hey, I now have an opening. And I was just like, oh my gosh.
But you had already signed the contract.
I had already signed the contract in Waco. I had moved to Waco. I was on the air in Waco. And I just thought, I was crushed.
Had to be crushed. I Lord knows I've been there. I think many of us who in this business can relate to those kinds of stories. But I tend to believe, I'm living proof that, the Lord works in mysterious ways. Yeah. And as crushing, as crazy as that time must have been for you, it worked out.
It worked out. And luckily I had people in my life around me at that time and still do who said, hey, it's going to work out.
Yeah.
Like think of the opportunity in Waco you have here that you wouldn't have had taking a job in San Antonio. And that's true because I was anchoring full time in Waco. I was doing the 5, 6, and 10 p.m.
Getting a lot of reps.
A ton of reps.
Higher profile.
I would not have come into San Antonio doing that, more than likely. So yeah, I'm grateful for that time in Waco.
So then finally the stars and the planets align and you get the call, obviously, from KSAT. And I mean, what do you remember about that day when kind of the reality set in that it looks like this is going to happen finally?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so the late, great Jim Boyle was the news director at KSAT who hired me.
Yes.
And I will forever be eternally grateful to that wonderful man who in a very short time taught me a lot. And he brought me in to audition for our weekend morning show, which was starting that would have been 2012.
Okay.
And all this time goes by. I never hear. And then one day he calls me and I happened to be visiting my parents here in San Antonio. And I was driving around and I pulled over into a parking lot so I could really focus on this phone call. And he's like, hey, thanks for coming in. We've decided to promote from within for the weekend morning show. Just feel like it's a better fit. And I mean, my heart is pounding out of my chest.
Yep.
I'm like, oh my God, I didn't get this job.
Yep.
But this is what I wanted. And then he says, the last part of the conversation, he says, I want to bring you back in for another audition, but for Sunday nights. And I was like, bury the lead.
Yes.
I mean, I have been on an emotional
to borrow
roller
one of our
coaster.
phrases from the business. Yes.
So I come back in, I do another audition, and I got it.
The rest is history.
And so that's what I started out doing at KSAT, was anchoring Sunday nights and then reporting for the 10 o'clock, Monday through Thursday.
And you got here, and I don't know how much you remember about your first day, but I mean, like, I know for me, when I got here, like, you've heard about this place. Obviously, I worked at a competitor for a long time, but you hear about KSAT, and you start to see it pretty immediately why it is as good as it's been for all these years.
Yeah. My first day, I mean, we were not in this news station at that time. It was the old news station, which all the old news stations anywhere ever are dingy and dark.
Yes.
They're they're not beautiful places, right? The money goes to the talent and the equipment.
Yeah.
But I walked in and
It's true.
I was sitting next to Marilyn Moritz.
Sure.
That was my desk. That's where it was like, hey, Jim was like, sit here. We'll find a place for you.
Right.
See you later. And that was kind of it. And then they had me go turn a story that day.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember exactly what the story was. It was a mom who was trying to get a ramp for her daughter, who was wheelchair bound, to have access to their home.
Yeah.
And was just having a really hard time getting a contractor to do the work, getting insurance to sign off on everything. So we helped make that happen. Yeah.
You always remember the first story.
You
right?
remember the first story.
Those details.
For sure.
I don't remember what happened yesterday.
No.
Or 2 days ago.
What
but
I
I
ate
can
for
remember.
breakfast? No. Exactly.
It's amazing how that happens.
Yeah.
All right. I have a few more minutes
Okay.
with Myra Arthur. We're going to take a break. Come right back. More to come here with Myra and Pickup Lines. Don't go away. All right, a few more minutes here with my friend and colleague, Myra Arthur, who graces the news desk with me. And I you know this already. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. We've been together for a few months now, and I appreciate everything that you bring and all that.
Oh, thank you. Same here.
So, no, it's been great. And here's to hopefully many, many more. But nonetheless, I read somewhere that had you not gone into news or done all this, that you would have liked to own a bakery?
Yes. I said that at one point, yes. I love to bake.
Good for you.
Love it far more than cooking an actual meal. I don't know. I just, anytime you bake something and have someone eat it, they're happy.
Yeah.
You know, they're happy. And I don't know, there was something about that that I just thought, in a dream world, this would be fun to do.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah.
Well, you have to have an outlet. You have to have something to escape all the craziness sometimes.
Yeah.
With your blessing and permission, I wanted to bring up kind of an ordeal you went through back in, was it 2018?
Yes.
Because you were public about it,
Mm-hmm.
and I just, I wonder how often you still think about you, and I'll let you kind of tell the story where you were getting ready for a newscast one evening, I guess it was, and was it one side of your face just started acting up, so to speak?
Just literally stopped working. So I had Bell's palsy in 2018, and I was here at the station. And I was doing the 10 o'clock that night.
Right.
And I went in the dressing room 9:30ish to get ready. And I was like, man, my face just feels weird. And I didn't know what it was. And, I went out, did the show. And then by the time sports rolled around, so what is that, like 10:25ish?
Not even. Yeah.
I realized I couldn't smile all the way. Like there was something I wanted to laugh at after sports, and I couldn't, and I was totally freaked out. The show's almost over, so of course I didn't say anything. The show ended, took my mic off, got in the car, and I called my aunt, who was a nurse, and I said, hey, this is going on. I don't know what this is.
Right.
And she said, I think you have Bell's palsy.
Right.
And I hadn't even heard of that before any of this happened. But a month to the day prior to all of that, I had pneumonia. And I got the flu. It developed into pneumonia. It was really early in flu season. It was like the day after Labor Day.
Wow.
I ended up with the flu.
Okay, September,
Yeah, September. So anyway, month later, turns into Bell's palsy, and it was awful. It was,
I can't imagine.
The entire one side of my face just stopped functioning. It was paralyzed. I could not shut my eyes.
Oh.
This was the worst of it. I had to tape my eyes shut, and I had to imagine basically putting like Vaseline in your eyes to protect them.
Sure.
That's what I had to do. And that's what my doctor told me. They said, of all the issues this is creating, your eye is the most serious, because if it dries out and you scratch your cornea,
that's it. There's
not really much we can do about that.
Oh my gosh.
So, Yeah. And I mean, I didn't know if I would recover. I didn't know if I could be on the air ever again.
Well, that's the thing, because, I mean, let's face it, we have to be aware of our appearance and everything
Yeah.
like that. And people love to
Oh,
look at every
yes.
single inch of our
Oh, yeah.
faces. And if I'm being completely honest, I think you would agree, women probably have it more than certainly the men do.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine what you must have been going through. And you don't even know, like, because you were out a month, right?
I was out a month. I was not at work at all for a full 4 weeks. And unfortunately, I have since learned with Bell's palsy, there's not much
Yeah.
doctors can tell you about it. I mean, it's like, we don't know exactly what causes it. We don't know how long it's going to take you to recover. Could it come back? Maybe.
Oh
We
my
don't
gosh.
know. So
Yeesh.
I took the medications prescribed to me by my doctor, and of course did far too much Googling of all the things. But I ended up doing physical therapy,
Yeah.
and to my very own surprise, I did acupuncture. I had never in my
Really?
life done acupuncture,
Okay.
never considered it, didn't know a thing about it. But I kept coming across other people's stories where they thought that it helped. And so I said, let's give it a shot. And I think that it did help. I think my doctors didn't think that it was going to
Right.
help. But, you know, I also think the power of positive thinking and making progress mentally is good medicine too.
And in all of that, you made the decision to post a photo of you kind of in your situation.
Yeah.
And I guess it went viral. But I mean, that decision to do that and kind of put yourself out there, I mean, that.
Well, I just thought, if I'm going through this, other people
Yeah.
have to be going
Heck yeah.
through it. And I've mysteriously disappeared from the air for 4
People
weeks.
are going to start asking questions.
Let's just tell people why. And maybe my story resonates with
Yeah.
them. Maybe they think, hey, like, oh, I hadn't considered physical therapy, or I
Right.
hadn't considered this. So, yeah, I took a photographer and did a story. I took Dale Keller. He went with me,
Yeah.
photog, to a physical therapy appointment, recorded the whole thing, interviewed my physical therapist.
Yeah.
And I thought, let's just talk about it.
Good
and
for you.
to this day, not even kidding, 3 days ago, somebody emailed me and said,
Yeah.
hey, I've just been diagnosed with Bell's palsy. I came across your story. I live here in San Antonio. What advice do you have?
Because it's been like, what, 7+ years now? It's been.
Yeah, it's been
2018?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I get emails about it.
It's
all the
amazing,
time.
right?
All the time.
You just never know the impact you'll have years after you do something like that. And I do think people appreciate that. You know, you put yourself out there. And I guess I'll kind of close on this, because you're a mother.
Yes.
You're a wife, obviously. And I think there is, people love to know how you make it all happen, especially lately, having kind of, you've been doing the night beat, if you will. So we come in at like 2 p.m. or
Yeah.
1:30ish here till 10:30, and how the work-life balance, you talked about baking and everything, but how you make it happen and still able to do the thing that we love to do.
Well, some days I'm balancing on one toe, it feels like.
Spinning plates, as I like to say.
Yes, absolutely.
Spinning plates.
You know, I don't know. You have to find a balance. You have to, some days I'm good at balancing and some days I'm not, you know?
Right.
But you are momming full time. So there's plenty of times that I'm juggling something at work. I have a quick break. I got to check in and make sure this pediatrician's appointment is taken care of, or we're signed up for whatever form. Right. And, you know, you find a way to mesh all of it. And then make the time that you do have with your kids count, you know?
Doesn't hurt to have a good spouse, too. Let
me tell you, if I didn't, none of this would have happened.
I think we both did pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, and
with our significant others.
He has been with me since the Corpus job.
Yeah.
He's been with me through the Waco job.
Yep. So is mine.
And, you know, when I thought for sure I was going to San Antonio after Corpus and ended up in Waco, he said, go, do it. I mean, this is still happening.
Yeah.
We're still dating and I'll still be here. And that support has meant everything to me. And every different schedule
Yep.
I have worked, because I've worked even here just in San Antonio. I feel like I've worked them all.
Yeah, well, the joke at home with Tammy was like, she certainly didn't marry me for money because, like, I would in Victoria, I would get paid. We would go to Red Lobster, and the whole check was gone.
Yep.
But that was, 27 years ago, and we're still doing something right. So,
Yeah.
listen, I've thoroughly enjoyed this. It's crazy because we sit close to each other, we stand next to each other, but it's not often we get just one-on-one time to just sit and visit and kind of reminisce on life and everything.
Too much to do during the work.
Too much.
So
I'm interrupting something that she should be doing right now.
So this has been good. I think it's been, it's been fun to talk to you about this.
I love it. If I was a little more selfish, I'd keep you for another half hour, but we have important things to get to inside. And you already know this. Like I said, I think the world of you, and I really appreciate you spending some time with me here.
Yeah.
Myra Arthur, the pride of Reagan High School. Maybe the most famous Reagan Rattler out there. I don't know.
I don't know about that.
I gotta see. We'll have to go check.
I don't know about that.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Ernie.
I'll see you in a few minutes. All right. Okay. There's another episode of Pickup Lines. We'll do it again very, very soon. Until next time, thank you as always for watching. I'm Ernie Zuniga. We'll see you. Bye for now.